Where does the four-wheel underground suspension shine more? Creeping, crawling on the Rubicon, or going crazy fast out on Johnson Valley desert floor?
Yeah, good question. Honestly, it does great in both scenarios. Whether I'm going through the Rubicon or doing 50 to 60 miles an hour through washes at Johnson Valley, it's really impressive what the suspension does. I think that goes a lot to show how well it's engineered, how well the roll center is controlled, and how well the geometry all goes together. No matter what I'm doing, I feel stable. I feel predictable. It's fantastic.
That makes a lot of sense because they are designed to be great on and off road.
That's true. I do drive the rig to and from the trails as well. And I noticed on tight, windy mountain roads, I don't feel like I'm throwing the body off the chassis anymore. I just have one question.
What's that?
When are we putting some four-wheel underground parts underneath Samantha?
Soon, very soon. And I'm excited to do so. And if you are looking to move your vehicle from leaf springs to a linked suspension kit, make sure to check out fourwheelunderground.com.
Hey, Jimmy, do you use any mapping software when you go off-roading?
Yeah, I use Onyx Off-Road.
Oh, nice. I do too. Have you been seeing the updates they've been sending out recently?
Yeah, the maps are changing. They're getting rid of that green spaghetti and they're changing it up to something a little bit more colorful.
Yeah, as much as I love the neon spaghetti that was on there, they're actually making a really cool update that's going to make all the trails colored based on difficulty ratings, which makes it easier to explore the trails around you.
Yeah, I know how much you love the neon green, but I think this is a good feature for them. Because now not only can you find a trail near you, but you can actually get an idea of its difficulty.
It is. It's a really nice change. That's one of the reasons why I like Onyx Off-Road and I've been enjoying using them is they're always looking for ways to make the app better. They're always rolling out updates, which all of them just makes things easier for when you're going out and exploring the trails around you.
So if you want to go out and explore and find trails near you, make sure to download the app Onyx Off-Road.
You have reached the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast voicemail. If you want to leave some feedback about Toyotas, have questions about Toyotas, maybe poke some fun at Toyotas, or let us know how your JL came with a Starbucks membership, then leave it all on the line and we'll get to it on the podcast. Keep crawling.
What's up, everybody? Your familiar and maybe not so familiar voice anymore. Tyler here with Snail Trail 4x4 and Jimmy.
Hello.
We're back. Sort of, I think we're back. We'll find out next week, maybe if this continues, but well, yeah, you're in Cruise Moab.
I'm in Cruise Moab next week. So we'll see what happens, in the future. Next week might just be a random, who knows kind of what happens week. I do have a Monday episode. I'm going to try and get a Monday episode while I'm out there, but I don't know what's going to happen for Thursday.
Okay.
Maybe I'll send Tyler home with some recording equipment.
Yeah. And I'll figure something out.
Or maybe I'll try and sit down with Lee one of those days or something.
Yeah. Might be interesting to talk with MF Ryan about some stuff because he's been doing a lot of work on his 4Runner.
Yeah.
And he's learning a lot about the 3.0 engine.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
he's
true.
Got that. He has, I think, a really fun story about his solo camping trip in Kermit. So I might do that for next Thursday.
All right. I'll probably leave you the Zoom.
Okay. Sounds good. This episode, though, is Snail Mail.
Snail Mail.
We have a nice plethora of voicemails. I think we have
so
17.
17. Dang it.
Yeah. So I guess without further ado, let's jump on in. I think their first caller up today is our buddy from Oklahoma,
Zach.
Oh, this is a long one.
Yeah. Last time we left off, I think we said that because I was asking, there was a lot of King and the Hammers updates from people.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, check the next one. Is it King and the Hammers? And you said, no, it's Zach giving us an update on his coolant.
Oh, that's right. The overheating issue for, what was it? Car talk that we were doing?
Car talk, our click and clack car talk that was going on.
That's funny. All right, let's hear what he has to say.
What's up, Jimmy and Tyler? Good afternoon. It's Thursday. I got a little update for the truck. Nothing's been done yet. This is all just like after looking over it and seeing what's going on with the cooling system. So I had a couple different hypotheses based on behavior and what I've seen. Haven't seen any leaks. On the exterior, I did rule out head gasket issue. So there's no head gasket leak, which is very good because I do not want to I don't want to have to rip apart my engine. That just does not sound fun. But the two things that I'm thinking is water pump could be bad. There is a lot of wet areas in the front of the engine. I do have an existing oil leak in that area anyways. So I'm thinking about if I replace the water pump, fixing that oil leak at the same time. It's over on like the timing chain plate on the passenger side of the engine, which is actually a very common leak point for the 1GRFE engines. The other hypothesis I came to with my uncle, just talking over it, he thinks there might be a clog in the heater core. But I do hear gargling after I shut the vehicle off, and sometimes while being stationary for long enough, it's like a gargling noise coming from behind the dash. I currently have my dash like halfway apart right now, just driving right now. But
Toyota things.
Yeah, there's more stuff to get to the heater core. So I'm going to have to continue this project whenever I have the time to. That's just a little update on the cooling issue. Y'all have a good day. And I actually have a race suggestion y'all should check out. Check out the Rainforest Challenge in Malaysia.
Yeah.
It is freaking sick. If you take like King of the Hammers, Dakar Rally, and just throw some rain and like massive puddles everywhere, it's insane. Like, very insane. Like, some people are like winching their vehicles a quarter mile on its side and doing other crazy things. No, y'all should check it out. But y'all have a good day.
Yeah, man, the Rainforest Challenge, I've heard of it. I've never actually seen one. I've seen video clips from it.
Yeah, me too.
And it's nuts. It's the Ultra 4 of in a rainforest. Like, it's
kind of unflapped out old rigs. Yeah, for sure. No, that would definitely be a bucket list item at some point. That would be so much fun to even try to attempt for sure. But those are pretty rad. Thanks for the updates too, Zach. That's those are pretty good. I'm glad head gasket has been checked off as 100%. Being okay.
Yep.
I think Tyler was talking a lot about the heater core.
Yeah, I think that's where you're going to be starting out here, especially if you're hearing gurgling behind your dash. That's typically not good. That means you have air bubbles in your heater core system.
So maybe one thing he can do then is bleed the coolant system, but have the heater core on.
You need to have, anytime you're bleeding a coolant system, you need to have that heater core open anyways.
Right. So park on a little hill or elevate the front end in the driveway or something safely. Run the vehicle till it gets to a hot temperature, and make sure that all those bubbles are coming out of the coolant system. And put your heater on full blast during that time so that the water is running through your heater core.
So the water actually going through your heater core is controlled by the RPMs of your engine. It's your water pump that controls that. The heater
up.
You need to throttle up. That's the big thing. A lot of people don't realize when they're burping a coolant system is not only do you need to let the vehicle run, get up to temperature so your thermostat opens up and everything, but you need to burp the throttle and get it up to 2,000 to 3,000 RPMs quickly, not just a sustained holding up. You need to be able to burp it, and that forces the air bubble to get pushed through the system.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you gotta, that's one trick that you got to do, and you just kind of keep doing that over and over and over again, and just make sure every little air bubble and air pocket is out of that system.
So if there's an issue on the heater core, what if the heater is off?
It wouldn't matter. A lot of times if the heater is off, because there's two things that controls a heater system.
Okay.
There is the cabin fan that controls the airflow over the heater core.
Right.
And then there's essentially your blender door kind of thing. And your blender door will take the heat coming off the air coming over the heater core and push it into the cabin. But a lot of times, if you don't have the temperature set on heat, it won't open the flow, the coolant flow. So there's three things, I guess: the cabin fan, the blender door, and then the coolant flow. There's typically a valve that controls the coolant flow, so that if you're trying to run the air conditioner and keep it cold in the cabin, it will actually turn off the flow of coolant to your heater core.
Right.
So that you're not getting any of the residual air from the cabin blower.
Right.
Going over your heater core and heating up the cabin.
My question though kind of is, can you eliminate the heater core from the equation just by like turning off the heater, turning off, putting the temperature on cold? That's eliminating that as a potential problem.
Yeah, you would need
and now
to,
you're only running things in the engine bay.
Yes, so you would need to find that valve. On the 3.0, the 3.4, the 22RE, that valve is on your firewall, top dead center of your firewall,
right,
in the engine bay. So you can just disconnect the cable from it and close the valve yourself, or make sure that whatever control you're moving on your dash closes that valve.
Right.
On the 1G RFE, I'm not sure where that valve is. So you just got to find that valve and make sure that it is closed manually or however it closes in the dash.
Right. Because if you can eliminate the option of the heater core being used,
then it's just your engine's cooling system.
Just your engine's cooling system. If you're still overheating, then the problem is up there.
Exactly.
I'm also kind of curious, when is the overheating problem?
True. Yeah.
Because it could be, if you're idling and you're overheating, then you're probably having like a fan problem.
You're probably having a coolant problem in your fan.
Because you're not putting any load on the engine at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you're overheating while you're driving up a hill, then you're probably having more of a flow problem.
Flow issue. Yeah. Yep.
So there's some more questions there for you.
Yep.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in again, Zach. That's a lot of fun trying to diagnose these problems with you.
Next one, Zach called back again about 2 hours after that one.
Oh, he solved it.
Let's see.
Don't read it. Don't cheat.
Don't read and cheat. Okay. Here we go. Let's play and see what he got.
What's up, Jimmy and Tyler? It's Zach again. I guess I forgot a small thing that been happening with the truck. I just had to fill up my coolant reservoir because it was depleted and I didn't even realize it. I had to do that one other time like 2 weeks ago. Knowing that it's not the head gasket, I think I can rule out maybe the heater core is not really clogged, because I also felt the hoses and they're hot, so it probably is the water pump. I don't know if I'll do that this weekend and the next, but that is the project that's going to be happening. So I'll keep you all updated whether the water pump is what fixed the issue or not. Good thing I bought one last year, thinking that was an issue. So I just have a new part just sitting on my shelf waiting to be used for the right opportune time. Well, I guess the opportune time is here.
Ding, ding.
I'll keep you all updated. Keep crawling. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, he did mention in the first one about moisture on the front of his block.
I completely forgot about that.
I did too. Yeah, I mean, water pumps, if they go bad, they have a default, a weep hole to help make sure that the water and the pressure can come out of the system, and the water pump is bad. So if you're having a bunch of moisture on the front of your engine that is not just your oil leak, you probably have something going on with your water pump.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally forgot about that.
I wonder if he called back in a little while or if he called back in the last few weeks after he changed it.
We do have one other voicemail from him. That was a week and a half later.
Do we want to jump to that one?
Jump to that one, see what he says? I'm kind of curious. It's either that or it's about the duck game or the goose game.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I've been playing a new game. I think it's called like Starfall Valley or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the graphics on it are kind of old school, pixelated, but it's like you inherited a farmland and you run around and you start farming the land, and it's so much fun for being such a very simple game.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like Farmville?
It's more than Farmville.
Okay.
But like you show up and you have like a shovel, a hoe, an axe, and like a hatchet or a
chainsaw?
pickaxe. No chainsaw.
Oh, come on.
Right. And then you show up on your grandpa's property and it's all overgrown. So then now you have to clean the yard and make a place to plant some crops, and then you have to go into town and meet people and buy crops and then start planting them. If you don't water them one day, the crops start dying. And, so it's kind of this super basic, fun, like no action. Like I just got to a point where I killed a little green creature and I got some slime. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with the slime or anything, but that was the first. I walked into the cave and the guy gave me a sword, and that's the first weapon of the game.
Oh,
so I don't know what's gonna happen next, but
interesting.
My farm is doing well. It was like Star something Valley.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty good. So check that one out, Zach. Let's hear what he said.
All right. Fun fact: in my time at night while the kid is sleeping, and I've kind of got to stay awake to make sure he's okay when he wakes up. I started playing World of Warcraft again.
Oh no,
so, nerd coming out. If anybody plays, let me know. Zach, this is a longer one. This is longer than his first one.
Oh my gosh.
So let's see what he's got here.
Good morning, Jimmy and Tyler. I hope y'all had a good weekend. I fixed my water pump or replaced my water pump, and it took way longer than I was expecting. I started Saturday afternoon after I was done with coffee and cars. I had to let the vehicle sit for like a little bit to let it cool off before I just started working on it. It was a smart thing to do. Yeah, it took me to the rest of Saturday into when the sun went down to take the water pump off. I also fixed the oil leak on the timing chain cover. So that shouldn't be an issue anymore.
Nice.
And then the next day I was able to start putting the water pump back on. Although my heating issue really didn't get fixed. Like I still have to wait till I put my foot on the gas for heat to come out of my vents when it's fully heated up. Little weird, but maybe I can still live with it. I'm going to keep an eye on the coolant levels and make sure I'm not losing any fluid. That's my update for that. So, yeah. I'm hoping that there's nothing else wrong with my truck. Although I did find out that apparently the blue liquid testing for the radiator doesn't really work on Toyota engines, just from what I've heard. And I didn't know that, so yeah. If y'all know if that actually is true, y'all can let me know about that. I don't know. I've never heard that not working, but it could be different for each vehicle, so who knows? Seems to be doing fine right now. I mean, I still get heat, but only while I'm moving. Or at least only when, like, pressure is applied while driving. So, like, I could be idle and just blip the throttle for a bit and hot air starts coming through or pumps through the system or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to have to tear my heater core out, but I still have half my dash out, so got no radio right now. But yeah, anyways, have a good rest of the week. Also, fun fact, I'm actually originally from Texas, but I just live in Oklahoma now. Been here since college. But anyways, y'all have a good day. Keep crawling.
That's a good choice. Nobody likes Texans. Yeah. They're like a plague. No, I think heater cores are winding up here.
Yeah, kind of. I'm also sort of curious if hot on his gauge is hot.
Well, it doesn't sound like he's having an overheating issue. It sounds like he's having trouble getting heat. Sorry,
I meant hot on the thermostat, like when you push it over to be hot. If hot, if that is fully opening the valves or anything. Yeah. Or if it's sending the signal to the computer to be hot. But it sounds like he gets heat when he blips the throttle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So it means that the water pump is circulating more hot coolant through the heater core. Yeah. Maybe there's a blender door issue.
Maybe
back there, which still you gotta dig down to the heater core to get to the blender door anyways.
Typically. What was he talking about blue liquid?
So the blue liquid
coolant? What was it?
Blue liquid to test a head gasket blow. So you put that liquid in the vial, put it over your radiator. Yeah. That shouldn't matter between different vehicles because all it's doing is it turns a chemical reaction based on exhaust fumes. And so it just takes and checks for exhaust fumes in your coolant. And that's what makes the fluid change color.
Right.
I know with my 22RE, I had a blown head gasket between cylinders 3 and 4. And so it wasn't really in a coolant area.
Right.
It wasn't in a coolant jacket. It wasn't like the head gasket was holding back coolant from there. I was sharing exhaust fumes between the two cylinders. That's what was happening. And so you were losing compression between the two cylinders. But yeah, and so I wasn't able to figure out that I had a head gasket issue because I wasn't getting fumes into the coolant area.
Correct.
But I don't think that that's an issue he's having. I think you've got something going on with your heater core. There are, if you do have a blockage in there, I doubt that it's like a big blockage. You probably might have like a sediment buildup or a rust buildup internal, something like that. What you can do is get solvents. And I don't typically recommend cooling system solvents that often because it's very easy to misuse them. And if you put solvents into your cooling system, it will deteriorate your cooling system and your engine block. But what you can do is put solvents into your coolant system and run that through and see if it loosens up the sediment and the stuff in there. But what you really, really want to do to make it work well is flush the system using the solvent. And there's different adapters, kind of things you can put on, almost like the car washing stuff, like a foamer.
Yeah.
That you can put on the end of a hose.
Okay.
And you can just drain your coolant system in your engine block, make sure that the valve is open to allow coolant to go from the engine block into the heater core and then back to the engine block, and then run that solvent water solution through. So it's flushing everything straight through and out, and it doesn't sit in your system at all.
Correct. Okay.
So that's one thing you could do if you think you have a minor blockage in your heater core. I think ultimately you're still going to end up going down to your heater core. Have to for the issue.
Yeah. I'm assuming when you replaced your water pump that you drained the water out of your radiator.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I have not yet heard you check the level of water or coolant in your radiator. And like the first time we talked, if your radiator is low on fluid, you're not going to get hot air.
Yeah, true.
And that's, in a way, I guess that's primarily because then it's not getting to your your heater core.
Yeah.
So if your heater core's hoses,
you're creating air bubbles in the system.
Yeah. So check the fluid level in your radiator. Figure out if you're getting heat back there. But you said the hoses are hot, so I'm assuming you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you're now, if your coolant system in your engine bay is working, I think you got to go back to the heater core area to figure that out.
Zach, bring your rig out to Sacramento, California, because I need to tear apart my dash too. So we can just have a tear apart dash party.
Dash party. Nice.
All right. Let's go back to mark that one as listened to. We have Kevin Poole.
Oh, sweet.
We're at about 22 minutes now. So let's listen. We have a couple voicemails from Kevin. So let's listen to see what Kevin's got here. And then we'll wrap up the episode, shall we?
Excellent.
Hey, Jimmy and Tyler. Kevin here. Hey, just about the whole wine, filling up a bottle. So I ran a bottling line MDF for 8 years. They're all about the same. Typically, there's a polyurethane cup that has a rubber seal in it. Presses down the bottle. And there's a tube on the outside, the shaft on the inside that has a hole in the middle and a hole offset in the same piece. And basically, it'll sparge it, and then it pulls a vacuum on it. The vacuum that's pulled on the bottle with that seal pressed on the top, it'll pull a vacuum and then actually pull the wine in there, which will pull a lot of the nitrogen out just to keep it from oxygen. That's pretty much it. And then that tube, you adjust the tube just to the right fill height, so it gives you the right area for your cork. And that'll pretty much just adjust that. Once it fills up that level, it'll start sucking wine back out, and by then it's out of the machine. And then going into the corker, typically the same thing. It'll pull another vacuum or it'll sparge it. But it has either a 3-jaw or a 4-jaw, and they basically just slide together, compresses the cork down, and then the plunger actually pushes it in there. Otherwise, it would just blow apart. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then also capsular, labeler, good stuff. I think we averaged about 90 bottles a minute, 90 to 112, depending on a good day. And we crank out anywhere from 19,000 bottles in a 7.5-hour day to 2,400 bottles a day. So, good times. The more you know. You guys have a good one.
Wow.
That's
2,400 bottles of wine a day.
crazy.
Yeah. You're fired from the board. I think we have you're fired on here too.
We do.
So there you go, everybody. How you get oxygen out of a wine bottle before you cork it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Sweet.
That was after the episode where the assistant and I went up wine tasting for like my birthday, and we went.
Oh, okay.
Or no, we went a few weeks ago or whatever. Or, well, now a few months ago. But yeah, and we corked our own or poured our own bottle of wines and corked them and everything. Yeah.
Nice.
And we went off on the tangent of like, how does the cork get shoved in there and what happens to the air on the inside? Does it just compress or whatever? So that was the conclusion to that. Thank you, Kevin, for explaining it.
All right. So Kevin called back. Let's see what he's got to say about this one.
All right.
Hey guys, Kevin Poole here again. Hey, I got considered you on this long drive rather than pester you guys. Hey, so thanks for turning me on to those tire minder, whatever things for the trailer.
TPS
I did have to
sensors.
buy a little bit more expensive one with like a repeater on it to reach the distance of my trailer. One thing I have had problems with on this trip is, I think I'm at 2,000 miles now, rubber valve stems with those little wheel sensors, they flex around, and on my rim I can see where it's bouncing and hitting the rim. Thinking that's why 2 of my valve stems delaminated and fell apart.
Interesting.
So if you use them, I would definitely recommend on a trailer having a metal valve stem. We just got 2 new tires, had those thrown in, and they don't seem to flex. But yeah, chipping away at the rim, just bouncing around, I guess. 85 miles an hour with the trailer is probably not ideal. So anyway, thanks for turning me on to that, Tyler. Things are super annoying. I'm not teasing, but anyway, that's it. Have a good one.
Kevin Poole has flaccid valve stems, everybody.
guess so.
That's what it comes down to.
That's crazy. I have never had a problem with because I have rubber valve stems on my trailer, and
I do too.
I don't have any marks from them hitting.
I don't either. That's
I
weird.
wonder if he just has really long rubber.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's got
more flexible.
Yeah. Harder to keep stiff. Erect. Yeah, he had he drove cross country and back.
Yes.
To deliver some stuff for some people in his trailer. So
too wild.
That's crazy.
That was a long trip, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, those TPS sensors work great. I'm going to definitely use them on my trip to Moab and keep monitoring the trailer tires.
I wonder how long his trailer is, because we have the 24-foot enclosed, and it reaches the signal just fine up into the cab of the 350 and the windshield of the 350. And it's a long bed dually.
Yeah.
And quad cab on a 24-foot trailer. So I never realized that they would make some with repeaters. I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I'm geeking out now thinking about it.
Yeah. I want to get the 8 set version.
Okay.
Because Clifford doesn't have TPS sensors on the truck. So I would need to put those on my truck tires and on the trailer tires so I can rock all 8.
Yep. Yeah. My thing is I want one for each trailer now.
Oh,
so that's why I want the 8 set. So that we can have a set for the enclosed and one for the deck over trailer as well. And not have to have 2 receivers. But I wonder if they work on the same frequency.
Yeah,
so if I just got the exact same product and paired it, but just only ran one set at a time, I wonder if that would work or not.
Yeah, I don't know. Might be easier just to unscrew them and screw them back on the other trailer.
That's what we've been doing. Yeah.
Funny. Do we have another one from Kevin? Or is that all? Well, just in order.
That
was it?
That was it.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Well, that was good. We got through 5 this time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Down to 12?
Down to 12 or something like that. Do always appreciate the phone calls.
Yes,
if you guys want to call in and get on Snail Mail or ask us a question or promote something that's going on in your guys' area, you can do that by calling in at 916-345-4744.
Sweet. Sounds good to me, man. I guess until next week, or I guess the week after is when I'm going to see you next.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll have you and Ryan do a Snail Mail episode.
Yeah, we'll see. That could be fun.
Cool.
All right, man. We're out.
Peace.
Is that trademarked?
I don't know.
The number you have called has been disconnected.